Well, hello. Welcome to day 23 of Zentangle Inktober. Today I'll be drawing Alitos right here, and I'll be tackling this area where my cat Muka decided to bite, so we'll see how I can negotiate that as we draw. I'm going to start with my pencil, and similar to how we did with Lollywimple, I'm going to go ahead and just pencil in really lightly a grid line aura-ing this outside grid line, this outside grid circle. And I'm going to go all the way down, just sort of ignoring these holes from my cat Muka, all the way down to here. And I'll do the same, drawing an aura line right above the second to last circle grid line right here. So switching over to my Pigma Micron 01, I'm going to draw an orb right here from one of those grid lines that I just drew all the way to the other. Then leave a little bit of space and draw another orb. And I'm going to continue on down this ribbon shape, drawing orbs and leaving gaps that are relatively similar in size. But I'm not too worried about getting the exact spacing just right, and I'm not too worried about getting these orbs to be exact ovals. Instead, they are really orbs with their own little personalities, especially as we get to the cat bite area. So I'm not being too critical of myself as I draw, just sort of letting things fall into place as we go. Now for this next step, I really had to invite myself to just relax and sort of let go. I started by drawing this first line, but then a whole bunch of just sort of impromptu zigzags until I get to the other side of the orb. So first connecting-ish, sort of connecting the orbs, drawing zigzags, and then drawing another line at the other side connecting the orb. And just sort of drawing these random zigzag patterns in between each of the orbs. So on the top side, right above this random zigzag, I'm going to go ahead and ink in this entire space. So half of the zigzag will be completely white, and the other half of the zigzag will be completely black. These black areas, in my mind when I'm viewing this pattern, it makes it look as if these orbs are sort of like swooshing through the air, and the black zigzag lines are sort of like the movement lines of space behind them as the orbs like fly through the air. It's really kind of funny. Now, as I look at this pattern with these completed and inked in zigzags, I kind of want to add something along the top and bottom border, that gap between the string that we just drew in and the grid line that was already there. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is ink in the original grid line and then figure out what kind of embellishment I want to add in the space between the grid line and the pattern that I've drawn. So what's calling to me right now is just to draw some orbs, ones that look as if they're sort of tucking in behind one another. So it's kind of like these C shapes rather than full orbs, and inking in any interstices that happen between these C shapes and the grid lines. Alright, so it's time for some shading. So I'm going to add some graphite right along the bottom edge of these orbs. For each one of these larger original orbs, I'll add just a little sort of crescent or curve of graphite right along the left bottom side edge of each of these orbs. Let's go ahead and blend all of that in with our blending stick or tortillion. I'm noticing as I'm using this blending stick over the past few days, it's really picking up a lot of graphite. And similar to how a tortillion would pick up a lot of graphite, but with the tortillion I feel like I can wipe it off really easy. With these blending sticks that I just purchased, I feel like the graphite really gets stuck in there. So at least over the past few days, I've been feeling like while the blending stick works fairly well, I think I actually prefer a tortillion over a blending stick. So it'll be interesting to see once I get home from my conference, how I feel as I transition back to my tortillion. Now I'll go ahead and blend in each of these orbs, thinking about, do I want to add more graphite later to make it even more dramatic, or am I satisfied with it the way it is? I do think I want to add more graphite right along that left edge for some more drama. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. This is the first time I've ever drawn this pattern, and it's kind of fun. It looks like there's some good drama there, some good contrast there. There's a feeling of movement. In the future, I might want to play with how do I want to decorate these larger orbs. Maybe there's a more creative way to do that. But it is a fun pattern to sort of play with. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a great time drawing, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.